those of you that don't know by now, I like tanks in video games. It's no secret. If any of you have ever watched my channel, usually you'll see me rolling around in some kind of tank, no matter what the game. I always feel that there are mechanics that are always missing no matter what tactical game I play. And I'm not talking about armor thicknesses or deflections or things of that sort, because that's basically the standard talking points when it comes to tanks. No, I'm talking about the interactions between a tank and a soldier. The only reason I decided to bring this up is because one of the developers was talking in the recent Q&A about tanks, and I was like, oh, okay, I thought this would be a cool topic to discuss. I had asked if it was possible to open hatches on a tank, and this is what he responded with. We toyed with the idea, and then felt that it probably wasn't really needed, and I don't love it when snipers become the most effective form of AT, and then you have single crewed vehicles everywhere. I remember in Heroes and Generals, just endlessly emptying vehicles, which was good fun, but I think it wouldn't work for HLL. This is where I disagree with him, because if anybody has ever played Postscriptum, then we all know that tanks don't normally get decrewed unless you're dumb enough to really stay outside of the tank. So with this video, I would like to do just that. Talk about the interactions between a tank, crewman, and soldier. That they were currently working on this feature, which is pretty cool. Moving on. Another thing that I would like to see is troopers being able to hop on the back of the tank and use the mounted MG on the turret. At the moment, tanks in Hell Let Loose don't have any mounted MGs, but I believe they said that they would look into it, which I really hope that they do, because that would be really cool to see. Because in the Q&A, they had said that the tracers that are on the turn and hull already make a really good light show, so why not add a third? Alright, let's move on. Hatches. Hatches, I think, play a significant role when it comes to a tank. For the commander of the tank, it should allow him to pop out, pull out binoculars, and look to see where the best option, for a tank to set up is. Or if you see something, have the turret face a specific direction to shoot. Another thing that the commander should be able to do, if there's an enemy that's like right outside, he could pop out with his Thompson or grease gun or MP40 and just shoot the guy that's right there and then pop back into the tank. He should also be able to lob out smoke grenades, just for infantry troops. Hatches would also be helpful for the driver too, because he gets a better view of where he's going, and you're less likely to crash into things. Now, of course, everything has its pros and cons. If the commander or the driver gets killed, the hatches should be left open until other crewmen are able to close the hatches, or friendly troopers if they're nearby. Why? Because it gives infantry troopers the option to run up on a tank and lob a grenade inside, killing the crew and making it so that the tank becomes unmanned. I think that this would be a crude reminder that when tank commanders say button up, they mean it. Anybody who's climbing up onto a tank to toss a grenade in should be left vulnerable to get shot at least in my opinion. Now this brings up a question: when tanks get decrewed, what happens to the tank? Well, I could think of maybe like two things. One, the Axis or allies could take over a tank by putting their insignia on the side and use it against the enemy. That would be a neat feature. Two, they could salvage the tank for resources so that, their team could get something else. Like, I don't know, a howitzer, another tank, maybe a better tank. I think that would be a really cool idea. I think that this would really fit in with the structure system that they're trying to do with that second one. Just like how in the Q&A when they were talking about prisoners and how that would fit in with their resource system, I think that would be pretty cool. Now, do I think that they're going to add this mechanic in? I don't know. I think that it would fit really well, but that's just me. I have to remember that this isn't my game, it's theirs. It's their vision that they're trying to put out there for us to look at. But I'm just saying that it would be pretty cool to see. Moving on. One last thing that I want to say. I really want games like Hell Let Loose to adopt a mechanic that I like to call the Think Fast mechanic. It's not particularly difficult to do. It's basically a little animation, SFX, so we can look at doing it for all vehicles. However, as it is, we've been road testing all vehicles and feel that for the amount of work to do it across 14 plus vehicles is probably less conducive to our design and goals than conductive. And then he says, it's not off the table, but currently the main design goals for armored vehicles is that they're strong and impervious to small arms fire. By allowing individuals in them to be killed, we created a dynamic where vehicles will often be single crewed by virtue of one crewman dying, and either the vehicle returning to base or crewmen running up. We like to keep crewmen together and having to work as a team. The commander role within the vehicle is designed as a spotter role, so carefully swapping will allow you to have greater vision and ability to spot. That said, it would be a nice atmospheric touch to be able to turn out on your way to the front line. So overall, I like what he had to say there. So yeah, that basically ends the what I want portion of this video. Well, that's all I wanted to say, or at least that's all I could think of. If anybody has anything else to add, let me know in the comments down below, because I would really like to know what people have to say. So the last thing here is a bit of news. There was a video that was released on Twitch, which I'm going to play right here, right now. It's nothing too special, it's just that, you know, the devs doing their own thing. There is an American that's hopping on a howitzer with a tank and a couple of houses. But the main thing to take away from this is the video name itself, which says Sunday, Sunday, Sunday. And Sunday is tomorrow, so that means that more than likely they're going to stream something tomorrow. Hopefully it'll actually be more information about the game, or seeing what's new. Can't wait to watch it. Hopefully I'll be able to see it tomorrow. Link in the description. And yeah, I want to thank everybody for coming out to watch, and I will catch you in the next one. Bye bye.